The page just with verses here. You think this page one you can have? श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः करो गुरुराश्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Chant from verse 8 onwards together. न देहो नेन्द्रियं च ममता परिरब्धत्वात् आत्मीयत्वादिन्द्रियः साक्षी सर्वोऽपितः प्रेम अहं कदाचन परिच्छेद भवितापैरुपप्लवा सुसुखे न दृश्यन्ते दुःखदोषप्रवृत्तयः अतस्तस्यैव संसारः न मे संसृतिसाक्षिणः. We haven't done, so you can just, I will chant, you follow. Supta suptinna janati na supte swapna jagarau jagrat swapna sushuptinam साक्ष्यो तद्दशः साक्ष्योऽहम् अतद्दशः साक्ष्योऽहम् तद्दशः. विज्ञानविरतिः सुप्तिः तज्जन्म स्वप्नजागरौ coffee break between Tajjanma and Swapna Jagara. Why are you taking an unauthorized coffee break? Okay. Vijnana Viratis Suptihi Tajjanma Swapna Jagarau Tatsakshinas Tatham Nesuhu नित्यज्ञानस्य ते त्रयः षड्विकारवतां वेत्ता निर्विकारोऽहमन्यथा तद्विकारानुसन्धानम् सर्वथा नावकल्पते न च स्वजन्मनाशं वा तेन तेन हि रूपेण जायते लीयते मुहुः विकारि वस्तु तस्यैषाम् अनुसन्धातृता कुतः So we saw that in the ninth verse, finished the ninth verse, we also finished the 10th one, yes? Yeah. What was the 10th one? Yeah. Sukte ahamina drishyante. That's what we had just finished. So this can be seen, same thing that we saw, that I'm not the supte ahami na drishyante. So this is Anvaya Vyatireka methodology, the pedagogy called Anvaya Vyatireka. A is there, B is also there. And then B is not there. Then what happens? A is still there. A for Atma. Okay. That is the Anvaya Vyatireka. That's how it's a, what is that called? Methodology of inverse concomitance. That is what is called Anvaya Vyatireka. This is how it goes. So, Supte Ahami, when the Ahankara sleeps, then Nadrishyante, there appears to be, and there is not seen, what? Dukkha dosha pravrittayaha. Dukkha, sorrow, dosha, finding problems with oneself and others. Pravrittayaha, activity. But then we can also take it three separately. Dukkha cha, doshascha, pravrittischa. Because the pravrittayaha is there, so it can be taken separately also. So there is no dukkha, no sorrow in sleep. For whom? For the sleeper. Then we have to find out the identity of the sleeper. That's how the Anvaya Vyatireka methodology works. So there is no dukkha, no sorrow in sleep. Sorrow may be there because I can't go to sleep. Sorrow may be there after I wake up. But in sorrow may be there in dream. But in deep sleep, no such thing as sorrow is available. Not at all there. Then dosha. I don't love myself. That's not there. I have a height complex. I have a weight complex. Mental complex, emotional complex. Very complex one's life is, except when one is asleep. No complexes in sleep. None at all. So dosha is not there. So I don't find fault with myself, and then I don't find fault with you. Very nice. No fault finding in sleep. Pravrittayaha includes nivritti also. Running away from certain things is not there in sleep. And then running towards certain things, I have to have this, I want this, without this I'm incomplete, that's also not there in sleep. It's all because ahankara, which we can look at slightly differently since we talked about the Pratibimbavada, Chidabhasa is asleep. Chidabhasa has gone to sleep. Ahankara, which is identified not with Chidabhasa, therefore there are no complaints, therefore there are no things. So when Chidabhasa is asleep, what prevails is Chit. That Samanya Chaitanyam means Samanya Chaitanyam means that unvariegated, all-pervasive awareness. That awareness is not aware of itself as a flawed entity, because it is not a flawed entity. That which is aware of itself as a flawed entity is a mistaken entity that has identified itself with what it perceives to be limitations and flaws, and that is the ego, the ahankara. Is that clear? Yes. So ego gone, gone, and then what is left? Happiness is left, which is one's own swarupa. When dukkha is not there, dosha is not there, and frenzied activity is not there, what is left? Endless happiness, forever. That is what is left. Ah, I didn't know Vedanta was so easy. What's the solution? Don't get up. Simple. Keep sleeping. Sleep is equal to moksha. No dukkha, no dosha. Sleep is equal to liberation from samsara. Go to sleep. Simple. But unfortunately, even if I don't wake you up in the class, prarabdha wakes you up. Your own karma wakes you up. Yeah. That's why sleep is a result of good karma. That's what one of Swamiji's gurus, Svatmavidyananda ji, used to say. He was one of those, what's that, flowers in the desert, which very few people could go to and have the fragrance from. So he had 3 students for Brahma Sutra class in the morning because it was an advanced text and nobody knew what a wonderful teacher he was, and he didn't care. He didn't say I should up my social media. He didn't say, I have to put some photos of the classroom in Instagram and whatever other things. He just didn't care. Whoever came, he taught. And out of the 3 students, 1/3 was asleep, meaning one of them was the opening prayer, Sahana Bhavatu, for him was a lullaby. And the closing prayer was Suprabhatam, wake up. Om Purnamadaha, he would wake up. And then just collect his bag and go home. This continued for 18 months. So patient the Swamiji was, he never said a word. And the students who were awake were angry on behalf of Swamiji, on behalf of Swami Taranandaji. The other 2 students, one of them being Pujya Swamiji, were upset. This person is missing out, and also, how come the Swami is not saying it? So one day they said to the Swami, Swamiji, do you notice this person is sleeping all the time? After he left, they must have said. Or while he was sleeping, they must have said. He said, yes, I'm aware. Then why don't you say anything? He says, if Bhagavan has given you wonderful sleep because of his own karma, good karma, sleep is a result of good karma. And if you don't understand that, wait for a few more years. Yeah, so wait for a few more decades. That's all. And you'll see, sleep is a result of good karma. So he said, if he is enjoying good karma, who am I to disturb? Right? So why is it good karma? Because there is no pain, no sorrow, no nothing in sleep. So total cessation of samsara in sleep. And so then we know. So now ahankara is present, chidabhasa is present. Chidabhasa ahankara, he uses it synonymously. Don't get confused. Okay, ahankara is chidabhasa, chidabhasa is ahankara for him. So then ahankara is present, aka chidabhasa is present. And then wherever chidabhasa is present, what is present? Chit is also present. Ahankara mithya, chit satyam. So wherever yatra yatra mithya, tatra tatra sat. Sat is also present. Without sat lending its presence to chidabhasa, to ahankara, it cannot function. So in the waking and sleep states, dream states, sat is present. Chidabhasa, aka ahankara, is present, or we can say chit is present, chidabhasa is present. What is also present? If you call the roll call, dukkha, present. Fault finding, dosha, discontent, present. running around in frenzied activity. Are you there? Yes. All three are present. Then how do you know whether Chit is the cause of these three or Chidabhasa is the cause of these three? Whether Sat is the cause of these three or Mithya Ahankara is lending its presence to all these three things, and that is the cause, you don't know. Because Chit and Chidabhasa are like in a salad together. Very difficult to extricate. So supposing you have a salad, right? You eat it and you start scratching yourself. There is an allergen. How do you find out what is the allergen? You separate. You eat everything one by one and watch. Okay, I ate this. I ate the capsicum, no scratching. Then I ate the something else. What else is there? Cucumbers. Yeah, tomatoes, no scratch. Cucumber I ate, no scratch. Then what was left? Lettuce. Scratch. Then you said, okay, let us not let us not. Right? Ah. This is how you tell. Same thing here. You do, this is an internal salad of Sat and Mithya. So it is impossible to extricate because the two are as though always together. So you remove the eternal and universal allergen called Mithya. Ahankara. What do? You bash it on the head with a blunt instrument. All right? The Ahankara. Not the head, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Ahankara's head. And then what does it do? Goes to sleep. And when it goes to sleep, lo and behold, there is no allergen, no dukkha absent. Then dosha, MIA, missing in action. Pravritti, frenzied activity to get something or to get rid of something. Evolved, absent without leave. So then, this is Anvaya Vyatireka. So in the waking and dream state, Sat is there and Mithya is there. In the form of Ahankara, we recognize the Mithya. Sat is there, Mithya is there, or to put it differently, Chit is there, Chidabhasa is there, and then what? Chidabhasa is bashed up, taken out of the equation by examining the sleep state, and then we find what? No dukkha, no dosha, nothing is there. That means the culprit of dukkha, dosha, and pravritti is what? Chitta or Chidabhasa? Chidabhasa. Thank God. Okay. So Chidabhasa means what? Ahankara. Yeah, but that's the sleep state. In waking state, what to do? I told you. Take a rock in a sock and bash up the Ahankara. Every once in a while. Yeah, bash it up. Even if you don't bash it up, be around people who bash it up. Yeah. The Saint Kabir said, Nindaka niyare rakho. Keep all the critics very close to you because they assure you that you will get moksha quickly. They assure you. There is nothing like a public shaming for, even though it sounds horrible, for the ahankara to go. Really? Nothing like that. Especially when you have not done something and then you are berated in public. That is what I mean by a rock in a sock. Ah. Oh, you are talking as though you have experienced it. Yes, I have. None other than with the Guru, with Pujya Swamiji. Some conference had to be organized. I was organizing it completely. And then Swamiji said, invite this fellow. And this was before, in those days, no cell phone, only emails. And the emails were also few and far between. Not everybody had them. And then it's not like the email, you were walking with it with access to email in the pocket. 3-4 days would go by. and then you could not have a response. Invite this chap. Okay, I invited the chap. And then no response came. And then God only knows what happened to that email. We decided to have coffee in a cyber cafe. Never went through. And then that man was in New York somewhere. And that man, and Pujya Swamiji was coming to Delhi from New York, where I was stationed. I was there. And then that man met Pujya Swamiji in New York and complained that he did not receive the invitation. And since everybody else he knew had received a formal invitation for this particular event, and since he did not receive it, he didn't see why he needed to come. Okay? And so Pujya Swamiji came, and we all went to the hotel. The hotel was, full of people. It was a kind of a suite. Not very sweet for me, but it was a suite. And then what happened? Like 20, 30 people there. And I gave him a cup of tea. And then I was going away. And he said, yo. I said, yes. Yes, Swamiji. Because of you, this man is not coming. Because you didn't send that invitation. And because of that, this whole conference is ruined now because this man needed to come. It was said, and there was kind of an audible gasp from the audience. And, I was like, I was wishing the earth would, Mother Earth would open up and I could just, somehow everything was okay. Whole night, needless to say, I did not sleep. And the next morning I had to go give him morning tea. So I went there, big red eyes, pair of red eyes that had wept all night. And then I went there with the tea. He was a very different person. Oh, you didn't sleep, he said. He said, that man is a problem. That man is not just a problem. He said, he's a very big problem. This person is a problem because this thing. It's not because of you at all. And it's not because of you. He just needed some attention. And I just gave him that attention. That's all. So you are okay. He said, okay, fine job, no problem. But that was very transformative. There was just it was like cleaning out the closet, not pretending to clean out the closet, but really cleaning it out. So any kind of a feeling like, oh, I am close to the teacher, I am traveling with the teacher, this is all ahankara. So, and I enjoyed a very wonderful status because everybody was just looking up to me at that time. And so it is very easy to take that status for granted. Huh? So that's what you do in the waking state. Yeah. You make the ahankara go on all fours forever. Make it into a tiriyak, four-footed animal. Let it be a pet. Let it follow you. So because this whole defensive, offensive, that kind of that's all grace. To not get into this place of defense. Even if one perceives an attack, we take that as a blessing. And here it was easy for me to take it as a blessing because it's the Guru. But then even if it's not coming from the Guru, it is still coming because it is still coming from Bhagavan. And we have to learn to take it not from a place of defense or offense. But generally, the ahankara is very, 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 very defensive. The ahankara just wants to guard and protect its perceived status as so and so. And those statuses are very, very silly statuses. Who cares? But still, The ahankara guards that very, very jealously. The ahankara is a goalkeeper of perceived statuses, perceived slights, perceived disrespect. With the emphasis on what? Perceived. And so, therefore, what? This is how to replicate this no dosha, no dukkha in the waking state as well. Put down the ahankara yourself. That's why patch it up. Rock in a sock. You'll never forget that material. Put it down. And then this way it doesn't attach to the various objects that make it very, very proud. The pride is again very subtle. The pride is there even with the person who says, I'm very underconfident. Yes, underconfident on one sense, and then overconfident somewhere else. That is also there. And then the next verse, together. Suptas suptin na janati, na supte swapna jagaro, jagrat swapta sushuptinam, sakshatohamatadashaha. This is an extension of the same thing. It's like a concluding verse of this particular avastha-traya prakriya. This is a methodology called the examination of the three states of experience. This avastha-traya prakriyaha, the prakriyayaha, this the witnessing of the three states of experience. And of course, we know our logic. What is the logic? That which is the witness is not affected by that which is witnessed. Okay, yeah. So this is the logic. Same logic is extended. Suptaha means the sleeping one. So that is the subject of the sentence. Prathama vibhakti. Suptaha, suptaha, suptim. Suptim means the sleep state. The sleeper na janati, verb, does not know. What? Suptim. Suptim na janati. The sleeper does not know the sleep state. When you are asleep, if I ask the question, are you asleep? And you answer yes. That means you're telling a lie. That means you're not asleep at all. Are you asleep can never be answered with a yes. And are you here can never be answered with a no. Very interesting. So that means what? You are not the knower of the sleep state in sleep. Maybe in hindsight, when you wake up, you say, I slept very well, I did not know anything. But not knowing anything is the hallmark of the sleep state, including the sleep state itself. So who is the owner of the sleep state? Chit or Chidabhasa? Chidabhasa. Because Chit does not go to sleep. That was established earlier. Okay? Yeah. So listen to that later when you are awake. And one more so who goes to sleep? Chit or Chidabhasa? Or to put it differently, who goes to sleep? Satyam or Mithya? Mithya. Who goes to sleep? Satchidananda or Ahankara? Okay. Back to ABC. Now we are all caught up. Okay. All right. So now, if this has been understood, then we say Suptaha Suptim na janati. So the sleeping one, who is that? Chit or Chidabhasa? Abba. Okay. The sleeping one does not know the sleep. All right. Sleeping one cannot know sleep. And then for the sleeping one to know that I was asleep, whose department is that? Chit or Chidabhasa? Chit. If you said Chidabhasa, you are in trouble. Okay. Yeah. So, who is the one who watches over the sleep? Satchidananda. Chit. Remember, Aluptadrik, the one who is the seer without eyelids. Eyelidless seer. So that is the one that is the witness of everything, including the sleep state. It's also the witness of the Jagrad Avastha, but in the Jagrad Avastha, there is the salad of Chidabhasa too. So that's why the sleep state is being analyzed here to know whose portfolio is what, so that there is no mix-up. So what is here now? Now, the sleeper does not know the sleep state. Chit has to lend its presence and knowledge after the sleeper wakes up and tell the sleeper, so that the sleeper can tell the one who was the sleeper is now awake. See, already has gone an avastha change, a status change. Sleeper does not know sleep, wakes up and says, I was awake. And that continuity between the sleep and the waking is provided by the continuous Satchidananda. And then the sleeper, therefore, which is Ahankara associated with what? Nothing in particular. And that Ahankara has gone to sleep. So the sleeper cannot know the sleep state. Sleeper cannot know the sleep state. And what about Chit, who is not asleep? So for the one who doesn't know sleep at all, can you say there are three states of existence? So if I don't know the sleep state, that means what? I'm always awake. And for the one who is always awake, what does this trifold difference? What difference does that make, these threefold distinction? Waker, sleeper, dreamer. Does it apply to the one who never sleeps? No. Sleeper doesn't know the sleep state, and the one who is always awake does not know the difference between waking and dream. That's the second line. Na asuptehe, for the one who is not sleeping, which is chit. Sleeper is who? Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa goes to sleep and then says, now I am waker, now I am dreamer, now I was asleep just a while ago. The Chidabhasa says. Chit says, I am the same. I never went to sleep, which is a good thing because I don't need to wake up. So I don't know the waking state, means I never need to wake up. And I never need to dream. Who am I? I'm free of all three states and I watch over all three states without being affected by them. But it's poetically expressed, so it could be confusing. Because he wants to highlight the ahankara and the chit here. So the sleeper does not know the sleep state, and for the one who never slept, which is Chit Satchidananda, Satyam, does not know what it is to dream or to be awake. Because it's always awake. That's the idea. Then, Avastha Jagrat Swapta Sushuptinam Sakshi. Who am I? Am I the sleeper? Am I the waker? Am I the dreamer? What am I? Sakshi of all three. Sakshihi, Sakshihi Tesham. Tesham Sakshihi. What is Tesham? Jagrat Swapta Sushuptina. Swapna Sushuptina. I am the witness of the sleeper, waker, and dreamer. And we know the logic. What is the logic? The one who is the witness of an experience is not affected by the experienced object or state. Sakshi aham. And he coins a new word. Ataha ataddashaha. Therefore, I am ataddashaha. What is this ataddashaha? First, we have to see what this is a negation. So first we have to see the word taddashaha. This is a crafted word. Taha dashaha yesham yasya saha. Taha dashaha yasya saha. So Taha dashaha means those three dashas, states. Dasha means state. Taha dashaha yasya saha. So the three states belong to whom is called tad dashaha. And the three states belong to Chit or Chidabhasa? The three states belong to Chit or Chidabhasa?
Chidabhasa.
Okay. So, Tad Dashaha, who is called? Chidabhasa is called Tad Dashaha. Ahankara is called Tad Dashaha. Ahankara is equal to Chidabhasa. Same thing, it's just a synonym. I'm trying to make people graduate into the Vedanta lingo. It's not working. Okay. Yeah. So. Huh? No, no, it's not the Rifara is a mistake. Yeah. Atad Dashaha, not Drishaha. Drishaha also we can say, but it's not as fun as the original. The word is just beautifully made. Taha Dashaha Yasya Saha. For whom these three dashas belong. Dashas means states. To whom do these three states of experience belong? Chidabhasa. So that is called Tad Dashaha. Means it's got these three states. It's the possessor, the experiencer of these three states. So what is Chit? What is Atma? Atad Dashaha. Negate the whole word. For whom these three states do not apply. Very nice. That's why it's not Tadrishaha. So, so understood? Yeah, there's not much else to say about this particular verse. If this much is understood, that's all we have. So it's the same thing. We have gone through this, what is that called? Avasthatraya Prakriya, thousands of times. Thousands of times we have seen, sleeper is me, I am not sleeper, waker is me, I am not waker. And then what? Dreamer is me, I am not dreamer. The I who witnesses the sleep, dream, and waking states is unaffected by any of them. And the one who is unaffected is called Atad-Dashaha. Who is that? I. The real meaning of the word I is unaffected by the waking, dream, and deep sleep. This is given very nicely in the Mandukya Upanishad. They're not the sleeper, not the waker, and not the one who is even in the waking state. There are many kinds of cognitions. I have external cognition, na bahish prajnaha, na antah prajnaha, na aprajnaha, na prajnanaghanaha, na prajnaha. And then Shivam Shantam, the Avyapadeshyam, that which cannot be talked about, that which is Shanta, Prapanchopashamam, ultimately. That knowing whose nature extinguishes the fire of samsara. Upasham, the prapancha means samsara, the variegated universe, which is the cause, whose misapprehension of this variegated universe, whose misapprehension is the cause of sorrow, is no longer there. That has come to a state of rest for me, who is neither the sleeper, nor the waker, nor the dreamer. Next one. Vijnana Virat together. Vijnana Virati Suplihi Tajjanma Swapna Jagaram Tatsakshinas Katham Nesyuhu Viprajnanasya Te Trayah. So, let's see the difference between these three verses. In the 10, 11 and 12. In the 10th verse, we have, before we go further, let's see what is he building towards. Very beautiful, we'll find. In the 10th verse, the distinction between Ahankara and Chit was pointed out. Chit is stationary. Chit does not undergo various stages or sleep state, waking state, etc. And then besides, the Chit is not characterized by the one that complains and the one that has sorrow and the one that is running around in circles. All right? Yeah. So this is Chit. And then what is Chidabhasa? Chidabhasa, thankfully right now is asleep, therefore not complaining, and therefore free of sorrow and free of activity of any kind. Both pravritti and nivritti are denied, for which that is Chidabhasa. So this separation. This cognitive separation is important, because otherwise we'll say Atma is the cause of sorrow. Atma is not the cause of sorrow, because the sorrow only comes when this mischief maker called Ahankara, Chidabhasa, is awake. Ahankara associates with Chidabhasa instead of Chit. That's why Ahankara and Chidabhasa are used synonymously. This is a mistake. It's like me looking in the mirror, and then there is my face, correct? Which is what? The original. And then there is a copy there, the reflection, right? And so then, if I associate with the reflection, what will I do? If there is a smudge on my face, I'll try to wipe off the mirror. This is what associating with the Chidabhasa is like, where the Ahankara becomes one with that so-called reflected consciousness. This is just a medium, okay, to understand. So this is just a medium to understand. So when it becomes one with this reflected consciousness, what happens? It associates with everything that is finite. It associates with the changes. It associates with everything small, because it doesn't know it is the truth of everything. And if you can also put Avachedavada, the theory of as though conditioned consciousness, also you can bring here, where the Ahankara associates with the body-mind-sense complex, of which it is the indweller, as it were. So the indweller is Chit, but it associates with the body. And that Ahankara, which says this body is mine, this mind is mine, these senses are mine, that one what? Mistakes itself to be as good as the body, and as finite as the mind, and as temperamental as the buddhi and the senses, etc. So this association with the finitude and everything finite, the misassociation, the misapprehension of oneself as finite, is the cause of sorrow, not the Chit, which is free of any abhasa, including dukkha. That was established in verse number 10. And then going forward in verse number 11, we saw one more thing. We saw the logic of why this is the case. Because the I is free of all three avasthas. I doesn't have any avastha. Avastha means states. There are no states of experience for the I. Why? Because it experiences everything without really experiencing anything in particular. You cannot say the I doesn't experience anything. It is Anubhuti Swarupa. It is of the nature of experience. So right now you are experiencing two things as we speak. So now you are experiencing, let's say you're experiencing a thought. What is the thought? Is it 8 o'clock yet? Okay. Let me put that worry to rest. Not yet. Okay. So see, now you are experiencing something specific, right? You have a specific experience in the form of a vritti, the thought, whose owner is who? Chidabhasa, Ahankara. So Ahankara says, is it time for the class to be over? When will I get my tea break? Okay, that is the thought. And that thought is lighted up by what? Chit. That thought is lighted up by all knowledge, Samanya Jnanam, Satchidananda. So you are experiencing two things simultaneously. You are experiencing the Tanpura, the background music of what? I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. And what kind of an I is it? It's a contented, non-demanding, objective, endless, happy, joyous I. That is, you are experiencing yourself. Are you experiencing yourself or not? Yes? Yes. Why so doubtful? If you're in doubt, ask the person sitting next to you. Am I experiencing myself? Then there will be no doubt. Yeah. Just lean forward, make a friend, and say, am I experiencing myself? You don't need to do that. Because you know you are experiencing yourself. And because of that background experience of yourself, you are experiencing what? The thought, is the class over? Is the class over thought is riding on top of the general knowledge of I am, I am, I am. Without your own existence, can you have the thought? What is the time? No. What is the time thought has to ride on. So let's not even call it a thought. What is the time experience? Because that's an experience. Vritti. What is the time experience has to necessarily ride on the I am experience. The I am experience. Ahamasmi sadabhami. Go back to the first verse. The first verse is the Mahapratigya, is a thesis statement of all these things that are being unfolded and expanded. Ahamasmi sadabhami. Kadachin na ahamapriyah. So this astibhati priyam are the three strings of this tanpura which is in the background. I am, I am, I am. I know. How do you know you are? I know. That's why you don't need to turn to the other person and say, am I experiencing myself? And the other person will not be faulted if they say, well, I don't know whether you're experiencing yourself or not, but I am certainly experiencing you as I'm not a very bright person. So this is what the person can say. If I have to ask somebody, am I experiencing myself? That person can say, I don't know about that, but I'm certainly experiencing you, and it's not a very flattering experience of you. Very non-flattering experience. Because we have to ask, right? We don't need to ask. We don't need to ask. But still we ask. That means what? We are not very sure. So that means that here I am experiencing myself all the time. That is constant. Like Satchidananda, Astibhati Priyam. I am, I am, I am. And then that I am, how do you know you are? I know I am. That's why I don't need to ask anybody. Am I here? You don't need to ask anybody. You can ask for fun, but you don't need to. So I am, I am, I am, I am, I am means I know I am. See, from one string, from ek tara, it has become tanpura. We also have a one string instrument. So the one string instrument is I am, I am, I am. But that I am translates to what? I know I am, I know I am, I know I am. What do you know yourself as? Endless, ananta, ananda. I know I am now. I know I am now. And the now is the length of time for now is indeterminate. Now is timeless. The content, the truth of now is free of time, free of space. So this is what you're experiencing in the background. And what is happening in the foreground is the class over. I am understanding this properly, but I'm not sure whether the other people in the class are understanding this. That's also a thought, a specific thought that is riding on the coattails of I am free of needing to to show off that I'm experiencing myself. I don't need to advertise my experience because it's a self-advertised experience. I know I am now. That is the background existence knowledge and the nowness, which is ever present, ever unchanging, ever the same, never changing. And on top of that, there are little bubbles of cognition, which is also an object of experience. And then I can also say I am a subject of experience. And this on the coattails of this ever experienced I ride the bubbles. Of do I love myself? Am I okay? Is it time for the class to end? What's going on? These are the bubbles. And the bubbles have to be, what should I say, upheld by the ocean? Can you imagine bubbles without an ocean? No. Oh, but what about soap bubbles? Well, you need the soap ocean here. Yeah. You need soapy water baby ocean for the babies to blow bubbles. You need something there. So the bubble cannot sustain itself without the material called ocean. So the material is Satchidananda for the specific thoughts. So I am, general thought. It is even known as an I thought. I awareness, with self-awareness. I am. And then I am now, I am now, I am now. I know I am now. This is the general awareness. That is called self-experience. This is what I experience. So the I is never not an object of experience. So therefore, the question, I know Brahman, but how to experience it must be taken away from the vocabulary. I know I'm Brahman, how to experience it means what? You are experiencing it right now. Right now, when you ask the question, I don't know Brahman experience, when you say you are experiencing that. You are experiencing the presence of the ignorance of Brahman while being Brahman. Very interesting, very fascinating this is. And so there is a general awareness which never leaves even in sleep, except that in sleep it cannot be broadcast because the Chidabhasa is also asleep. So then the general awareness is forgotten. Just go back to our example of the music concert. So like this, the person is just for 3 hours is playing this instrument without any rest, but is the last to be acknowledged, first to be taken for granted. It is because of that background notes of the raga that the ornate notes can be played and the singer can improvise, because what is the raga is already there, it's being played. Similarly, because of the presence of Satchidananda, I become thinker, I become waker, I become sleeper, I become eater, drinker. And even long-term roles, father, mother, daughter, all these things happen because this Satchidananda is there, giving, lending its presence, lending its existence to every thought, every experience. So without the Satchidananda experience, no other experience can happen, just like the bubbles cannot be sustained without their raw material, which is here the ocean. So similarly, this oceanic consciousness of Satchidananda is at the back of all bubbles, all experiences, all waves, everything. But what do? We catch on to something, we latch on to something that we can objectify and forget that which is not an object. What is not an object? Ahamasmi sada bhami, not an object. I am now, I'm experiencing myself now, not an object. I forget that. And I latch on to that which I can objectify. And so, the Vishesha Jnana means specific cognitions. Vishesha Vrittayaha, specific cognitions are favored and are easy to objectify because they are other than me. And unfortunately, the ahankara catches on to them as a reality, puts a garland on them and puts them on a pedestal. This is the cause of sorrow. Because each thing is momentary, and that which is finite and momentary, if you put a label called infinite, then it will be very confusing. Very confusing. You will not know what to do. You won't know what to do. And so here, the Samanya Jnanam has to be the backdrop upon which the specific cognitions, the specific experiences, the specific states unfold. So what are the specific cognition? I'm now happy, now sad, now completely frenzied, now an idiot, now okay. These are the specific cognitions. What are the specific states? Now I'm asleep. Of course, you can't say that. We have already found that out. Just now, a while ago, I was asleep. Now I'm awake. Now I'm daydreaming. This is the three states of experience. Then also, on a long-term basis, I am aware that this is a photo of me when I was 2 months old. Who is showing this? One who is 92 years old. Correct? And so there is a continuity. Childhood, youth, old age, the one who cognizes, the one because of whom the childhood cognition takes place, youth cognition takes place. Youth cognition takes place. Nobody embraces old age. That's why we stop there. Youth cognition takes place. Youth cognition takes place. Youth cognition takes place. Because we don't want to make it depressive, okay? So that entity, that changeless entity, is the witness of the three states of experience: sleeping, waking, dreaming, is the witness of all small, small bubbles and blips of thoughts, and of longer cognitions. I am young, I am a child, I am a baby. Baby cognition is there. Baby doesn't have the way to say this, but the baby feels a certain helplessness. And if it's a non-functional caregiver, it will say, okay, I'm stuck with this. Good thing God gave me a pair of wonderful lungs so that I can make my needs felt. So, baby cognition. And then the 5-year-old will say, I'm not a baby. Non-baby cognition also is there. I'm all grown up. See, when one is young, one wants to be all grown up. When one is all grown up, one wants to be young. We are crazy. And that's all there is to say. Totally batty we are. And so, this is the fun part, is that all these cognitions, these oppositional cognitions, I'm wonderful. No, I'm terrible. I'm happy. I'm in the doldrums. And then I'm great. I don't think so. I love myself. Not so much. At least not today. So all these varying and oppositional cognitions take place on that canvas that is free of those states. Free of childhood, free of youth, free of old age, which we don't say, free of that other thing. And so this is that which I forget. I only focus on that which I can catch hold of, which is an object, and then the Atma is the most ignored thing. If it had a Jivik mind, a mind of a Jiva, it would feel very sorry for itself. Nobody loves me. Nobody pays attention to me. Everybody misunderstands me. What to do now? Poor Atma is very sad. What to do? Let's say the closing prayer. That's all there is. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Okay, in half an hour, we will see what is there. I am does not attach itself to something. How will I know I am? As though, put in the word as though and you have your answer right there. It doesn't attach itself, it as though shines the light on that. Yeah, that's what it is. If you forget as though, then